Hello, I'm Julian, and you're watching Rise Up, an initiative by the Inter-American Development Bank to educate about climate change. Today we'll discuss how climate affects us all. Like it's freezing me up. Magic wall. This is a magic wall, and it can turn itself into anything we want. See? Climate is very important for all life on our planet. It is different all over the world, and it changes according to weather variations. Huh? Weather what? No, not just weather. Today we'll talk about climate and weather, about seasons, and about how differences in climate can also make us all different. Now I only need my sunglasses, and that's why we have the producers in this series. Production! The first thing we need to do to avoid confusion is to define two terms, climate and weather. Climate is measured in long periods of time, of at least 30 years, while weather changes in short periods of time, even in the same day. Nothing like an example to understand it better. Take me, for example. I live in a city in the mountains. That's why it's cold here, and that's why the clothes I'm wearing are not appropriate. Production. Yeah, that's much better. This is how we dress here. Long pants, pullovers, jackets, and from time to time we use hats and scarves, especially early in the morning, but sometimes we need to dress up differently due to weather changes. In this city we can wake up to a cold and cloudy day, but in a few hours the sun rises and heats up the city. A while later clouds can roll in and a heavy shower can happen, and again an intense cold in the afternoon. However, all those weather changes are within the average climate of my city. For instance, we know that here it will never snow. That is why we can say that climate is the average weather for long periods of time. That means climate is the normal weather, the one that has persisted over many years, and to which we are already used to. As you already saw, climate affects how we dress. But not only that, also the houses we build, the vegetation, the animals, the food we eat, and even our daily activities. Production, let's go back to the studio. If you understand this, today's challenge will seem easy. It is a simple question, but you need to think it over carefully. How much water does a person need to drink in one day to survive in a desert? A. 1 liter. B. 4 liters. C. 10 liters minimum. Later on, we will find out the answer to our challenge, because now our exploration of climate takes us to the seasons. Seasons are produced due to the translation movement of the planet. That is, the movement of the Earth around the Sun is an elliptical orbit, where sometimes Earth is closer and sometimes it is further away from the Sun. But that is not what changes weather and causes seasons. Actually, seasons are the result of the inclination of the Earth's rotation angle. Say what? The inclination of the Earth's rotation angle. Hand, please. Thank you, hand. Earth's axis angle is not 0 degrees, but 23.45 degrees. This degree of inclination makes the equator, which is an imaginary line that divides the northern hemisphere from the southern hemisphere, not directly underneath the center of sun rays that reach the planet. Sometimes it's above, and sometimes it's below. And that means one hemisphere is always receiving more sun rays than the other. However, there are parts of the planet that, regardless of the time of year, will always receive sun rays directly. This area is defined by the Tropic of Cancer in the north and the Tropic of Capricorn in the south. That is why it's called the intertropical region, and it is the zone where sun rays reach more vertically throughout the entire year. That is, right over our heads. When one hemisphere is receiving more sun rays, it is in summer. And of course, when the other hemisphere receives fewer sun rays, it's therefore in winter. When the southern hemisphere is in summer, the northern hemisphere is in winter. When in the southern hemisphere it is springtime, in the north it is autumn, and so on. In Latin America, only a few countries are outside the intertropical region. In these countries, there are distinct seasons. In contrast, those that are in this zone have a fairly stable climate all year round. And the changes that occur depend on the altitude, rainfall, cloudiness, humidity, and air pressure.